how long has it been since you last wished on a character banner or a weapon banner on Genshin? Well, if your answer is more than 5 months, then kudos to you because you are even more impressive than me. So as a professional hoarder in Genshin, I have successfully suppressed my wishing addiction and my urge to pull on all the banners. Since I started this account 5 months ago, my aim is to beat the Spiral Abyss and explore all the corners of Teyvat with a pure free-to-play account with mostly starter characters, and whoever Genshin throws at me for free in events. Our journey through Teyvat is still in the beginning, with many areas we have yet to explore, and with over 23 episodes of this series under my belt, so far our Primogem count sits at 38,472, just under 40% of the way to our ultimate goal of 100,000 free-to-play Primogems. Since we won't be polling until we meet our Primogems goal, I'm having trouble deciding on something, so stay tuned until the end of the video, because I have a question to ask you guys that might very well determine the future of this free-to-play account. We've been through the main Inazuma Islands, battled and joined forces with a Raiden Shogun, helped a cat rebuild a shrine in Serai Island, and stole Primogems from a kid in Tsurumi Island. The only place we haven't explored in Inazuma is the often forgettable region, Enkanomiya. Last time, we completed a pre-quest to unlock the region in Watatsumi Island by helping out the shrine maiden Tsuyuko. So now we are finally ready to dive into arguably the hardest Inazuma region on our free-to-play account. But before that, we have to do some dirty work in order to obtain some Primogems. So first, we went back to Liyue and fought some Helitro enemies. We didn't have a Claymore character in our party, so the shield was rather hard to break, but we eventually killed the Metatroll. Next, we went to sabotage a slime balloon. It was a pretty tanky balloon, but by combining all of our characters' skills, we destroyed the balloon. After that, we went to stop another cult gathering of the Abyss Order and defeated the enemies there. Next, we went to Boo Boo Pharmacy with Little Mang and gave him some mints for some medicines. After everything was finished, we went back to Catherine to get our daily supply of 60 Primogems full of trouble. With our dailies completed, let's resume our Enkanomiya exploration. So I jumped into the whirlpool and stumbled upon some dangerous looking things. Alright, finally we're at Enkanomiya. Oh, okay, these enemies looks pretty scary. I kinda ignored them and just jumped past them. I'm not sure where I'm going. I'm just ignoring all the enemies. But I believe you can unlock the waypoint at a gate or something, so I'm just gonna continue forward. We reached the next teleport waypoint near the gate and found a way through. We also went through this giant hallway with some ruined enemies near us. But since we're only trying to speedrun through Enkanomiya for now, I chose to ignore the enemies, and those ruined enemies were not happy about it. Goodbye, I don't care. Don't have my burst out, so I can't really burst them down. Ow! After getting through the hallway, we opened a gate to finally step a foot onto the main Enkanomiya region. There were also, of course, some Helitro enemies as well, but I actually had skill issues trying to kill them. Bye. Oh. Goodbye. Oh, no. Goodbye for real. Goodbye for real. Okay, that's one down. This is what you get for standing near the cliff. The drops just magically appear as well. Like over there. After more running, we finally made it to the ruin. Alright, I think we're getting close to the first part of the world quest. Before we could go inside the ruins, we had to first defeat an Abyss Mage and its lackeys outside. After that, we met a suspicious person that introduced himself as Enjo, who sent us off to investigate Enkanomiya. We came across this puzzle and solved it pretty quickly. We went back to report to Enjo and continued on our exploration. We met back up with Enjo at a gate shortly afterwards and destroyed an invisible barrier. After changing the region to Evernight, we met Aru, the spirit of the Enkanomiya people. So now we have to start my most dreaded part of the world quest, which is to infiltrate the inner parts of the ruins in Enkanomiya to solve some puzzles and defeat some enemies. We unlocked another teleport waypoint and I decided to annoy this Abyss Mage. Okay. Hello. I see you're guarding a chest, Mr. Mage. Afterwards, we went to search for a secret room and stumbled upon a few scary looking enemies. Enkanomiya is painful. I mean, it's alright. But it might change soon because these things just spawned. The Rifthound enemies were pretty hard to fight, but luckily we had our Barbara who was able to heal our team through the fight. Alright, I hate this puzzle. Hopefully I don't make a fool of myself. Alright. Get the levers. I think it's like this. Wait. Morning, please. We had to switch to White Knight in order to continue on with a puzzle. Wait. Do I need to get... Yeah, I need to do this. Okay. And then keep hitting this puzzle thing. But I accidentally solved a puzzle without knowing. Wait, what? Did I even do this right? Okay then. Alright. I just got the muscle memory in my brain already. Okay, this is a place of death where I struggled a lot with my Genshin account, but I have a healer this time, so it's not going to be that bad, I don't think. Alright, let's see. Let's see how strong the Hyper Bloom team is. Inside, we needed to defeat all of the Rift Hounds that spawned. And with our team, we had a hard-fought battle against them. The enemies were quite tanky, and they were moving around a lot. But luckily, our Hyper Bloom-focused team comp were able to deal with them without needing to aim. Why am I only doing 8,000? These Rift Hounds have more resistance. Ow. Eventually, we were able to take down all of the enemies here. Okay. Not that painful. We also collected some chests that we came across along the way. Wait, what's this area? What? I got invisible force stopping me, but I'm pretty sure this is what I'm supposed to get rid of. But I've never done this puzzle before, so I don't know what you do here. Maybe like in the mornings or something only, you can get rid of those things. Whatever. I'll go solve more puzzles. We made it to a shrine area and had to solve another puzzle. But first, we had to change to Evernight again. After that, we went back to the shrine and started a puzzle. Wait. Huh? How am I supposed to do this? I thought you would just teleport back. What? Am I doing this wrong? ATU? I think I'm glitched. This is supposed to be teleporting you back, right? I'm just touching this wall and then nothing happens. It's a glitch. Well, that's weird. But I'm glad I can still do this then. And usually you'll turn into like this little ball thing and then you'll just get teleported back. Even with its wonky mechanics, we still completed it without any trouble. On our way to gather the last fragment, we encountered some very thirsty enemies. This teleport waypoint has enemies that will try to kill you. Wait, do I need to change this to Evernight or just defeat? Wait. Okay, I can just ignore that bishop. We ran past the enemies, but then ran into another problem. Here? Okay, how am I supposed to climb up? When I play this, I have Venti, so... Is it like a lip or something I can climb up? Huh? Okay. Wait, no. How do you do this without Venti? Maybe this way? I'll try. I'm still not climbing up. The rune guard is saying hi, yes. Oh, never mind. Got it. Well, that was some very embarrassing display of some skill issues. And also, these are the problems that occur when people rely too much on their Venti or Kazuhas. So I got stuck for quite some time, but eventually we made it to the second floor. I changed into White Knight again, and finally collected our last fragment. Alright, can't forget the chest that's behind here, right? The rune guard is still like fighting me. This is reminding me of my Nuzlocke account. Do I want to go and kill the rune guard? Wait, how's it down? It was supposed to be up there, right? It just came down just to kill me. Alright, time to get rid of the rune guard. So the rune guard enemy that was on top of the cliff before that we saw earlier somehow came down to greet me outside alongside his lizard buddy. Luckily, we were prepared to fight, so we froze both of them and defeated them. Like the dedication, but too bad. So now we have to return to Aru and descend down to the base of the Dainichi Mikoshi. There, we were ambushed by the 3 water lizards and had to defeat all 3 of them.
Come a little closer.
Alright, get close so I can hit all 3 of you guys at once. Thanks. The enemies were pretty thick, so they had a lot of HP, but with perseverance, we were able to defeat all of them. After that, Angel showed up and revealed himself as an Abyss Elector. The fight was pretty easy, since he was just standing still and throwing fireballs at us, which we countered by simply freezing him. Okay. The boss, or like the bishops that are just lying down there dead, they still block you. So I gotta be careful not to get hit by that. Eventually, we were able to use Barbara to destroy his shield and ended the fight. He has a pretty cool weapon. Paimon wouldn't turn on me. I remember this quest. Not sure if this is like foreshadowing Paimon is gonna be evil in the future, so not to trust anyone, but we'll see. No Paimon slander though on this account. Finally, we could return back to Tsuyuko, the Shrine Maiden in Watatsumi Island, and completed the Enkanomiya questline. With Enkanomiya completed, we can finally hop into a co-op and farm for some materials, as well as do our weeklies. First, we went to fight the wolf, but before that, I had an important announcement to make to my co-op teammates. Don't make me carry you guys. You guys are the one that's supposed to be carrying me. Why is everyone Electro? I also made a decision that I will regret later on. Alright, I'll go with Electro as well since you guys all want Electros. So here. Not 10 seconds into the fight, we had our first casualty from our team. Well, let's see if anybody will die. Hellborn? Yup. The Raiden just got ran over. Okay. Beidou didn't react it with her counter. I guess the Electro Mommy team might be in trouble for the wolf fight. Anyways, as we continued our fight, things went from bad to worse. It's almost at a threshold where the wolf will start running around in circles. So now, only our Yae Miko and I were left standing, with our teammates still respawning and nowhere to be seen for the second phase. They did join back into the fray, but this happened. Alright. Oh, okay. That was kind of fast. I didn't get to react on time. Okay, I don't want to die, so let me play a bit more passive. Don't want to get slapped by the tail as well. I was doing so good before the slash, and now I'm just messing up. No! Wait! If everyone dies, then the boss will reset, so... Okay, I'm getting chowed by the small wolves as well. The mini... Hellborn? Are you still here? Hellborn? Hellborn? Yeah, since everyone died and our last teammate disconnected, the boss went back to sleep. What's happening? The boss is not resetted yet because No, Hellborn is gone! No! We actually lost to the wolf. It's alright though. After we swapped to a different team comp, we beat the wolf pretty quickly. After the fight, we went to farm some Eremite enemies in Sumeru. Mostly because we still had to level up our Dori to prepare for the Abyss. We found a lot of drops and managed to ascend our Dori, so thanks again to everyone that helped me through the weeklies and farming. I get a lot of people asking if they could help me a lot. So if you ever want to join me and carry me in co-op, make sure to follow my Twitch streams and join me while I'm live. So we also got to AR55 as well on this account, which raised our world level to 8, which is why we should start farming for EXP books to level up our characters to 90. Since Genshin's version 3.4 started recently, I still have to catch up with all the events in order to get all the Primogems. So Lantern Rite, as you guys know, allows us to choose one of the 4 stars from Liyue for free. Even though I have an idea on who I want to pick already, I still want to hear you guys' opinion on this. I briefly mentioned it in the last video and got some responses and good opinions on who to pick. So for my ultimate goal on this account, I would like to clear all floors of the Abyss, so this decision may very well impact the outcome of my goal. But if you guys would like to also chime in and give me your thoughts, feel free to leave it down in the comments below, and I'll showcase them in the next video if you influence my decision. Anyways, it's finally time to check up on how many Primogems we have currently. 40,231. So we are now over 40% of the way to our final goal of 100,000 free-to-play Primogems. Which, by the way, I'll be spending the Primogems after I reach my goal, for hopefully a C6 character. Speaking of spending Primogems, I also have an ongoing bet with my subscribers, where we're seeing whether or not I could reach my end goal of 100,000 free-to-play Primogems on this account before I hit 150k subscribers. If I hit 150k subscribers first, then I'll have to wheel 100,000 Primogems on another account. Since we still need around 25k more subs, while I still need over 60,000 Primogems, it's currently looking like I may have to kiss my wallet goodbye. So if you want me to whale, or just want to watch more of this series, make sure to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next one.